My boss keeps bringing an aggressive dog to work. My boss's dog has snapped at me before, and one time when my coworker walked into work, the dog just ran and bit his arm on top of his puffer coat. The dog was just hanging on for a while and my bosses were yelling at him to stop, but they couldn't do anything. The dog let go and then followed the coworker and jumped him again. He was visibly scared but brushed it off, and the bosses apologized and everyone went back to work. I was terrified when this happened and so confused that everyone just brushed it aside, and the dog stayed downstairs with us that whole day. I was so on edge. Then a few months later the dog snapped and bit another coworker's arm. My boss ran over and said sorry and brought the dog upstairs. At this point I pulled my boss aside the next week to say I didn't feel comfortable the dog around, and my boss was very understanding and said that they had already decided that the dog would not come down to our workspace during the workday anymore. Problem solved. Fast forward to now, and boss has been slowly reintegrating the dog into the workspace, bringing him down on a leash and tying him up, and today he was actually allowed off leash in the office and my anxiety shot through the roof. I looked down at one point and almost jumped because the dog was right between my legs under the table, sniffing my crotch. The thing is that if I touch him or step on him accidentally, he snaps. I have been working on my mindset around self-defense, and if he comes for me I'm going to fight back, but I shouldn't have to even be worrying about this at work. To be clear, I'm not in a position to change jobs right now, and the dog has shown no signs of aggression recently, but the anxiety today was almost crippling and I feel like my request has been disrespected. How do I deal with this? I'm already pissed that I'm going to have an extremely awkward conversation with my boss again. And I can't get over the inferiority complex I have about telling my boss what to do with their dog, but having the dog around is so triggering and I feel like it shouldn't be allowed. I'm also trying to avoid telling boss I have PTSD, so how do I go about this in a normal, assertive way? TLDR, boss slowly started to ignore my request to not bring their untrained dog into the workspace. Dog has bitten coworkers before, broke skin on one of them. I don't feel like I should have to deal with this dog being in the space during the workday, but how I'm going to have this convo with my boss again. Has anyone ever done this, a sort of take a leap of faith kind of thing? After being at my job for close to 6 years, I recently put in my 2 weeks due to fact that I was just so unhappy and felt like I was stuck in a never-ending rut, not to mention the burnout from being overworked non-stop since COVID. It probably wasn't the best decision for me to impulsively do, but I felt as if I didn't do it then I'd look down the road in 5 years and still be stuck there. My last day is the day before Thanksgiving, and it's creeping up. My anxiety is just shooting through the roof at the thought that I still haven't found another job. I've tried job hunting, but everything I find is customer service related, and I just would really want to take a break from that altogether and possibly find something where I don't have to interact with people as much. Have any of you guys gone through this before or something similar? If you have, then what advice, if any, would you have for me?
Left out of new job. I am being iced out of Slack convos and treated like garbage within my first 30 days. I know more than my boss who's been there almost 3 months. I am going through a lot with an abusive ex and raising 2 young kids on my own, and the don't put their stupid emojis when I chime in. I've noticed the coworker who trained me barely speaks or responds, and she's the most tenured. I actually thought I was crazy and being too sensitive, so I restarted my computer. Nobody liked my very sweet and simple thanks after our big boss started a chain of what we were grateful for. 4 to 5 hearts, etc. on everybody else's. 0 on mine. It seems to be intentional and I really want to quit. My boss shared her divorce story and found out a lot about me through it, and I think it's being shared. I need the job, but I just left one for this and I am falling into a deep depression. I have shared screenshots with a friend and she agrees they are assholes. I'm about to just stop paying attention to Slack and find a new job. Any advice would be helpful. I'm under a lot of stress and deal with PTSD and depression, anxiety. Thanks.
Should I leave my job because I'm a bad coworker? Lately I've been very stressed due to my personal situation, school, internship, and work. I fucked up multiple times by not being the ideal colleague at work, and today I had a breakdown and started to cry at work. They've had given me multiple chances to improve, but I am sabotaging myself due to all the stress. I'd like to message them that I'm quitting and thanking them for everything. Would this be a normal decision? I actually do need this job for financial reasons, but I don't know how to improve myself because the past 2 months I've been stressed. I feel sick from how stressed I am and my brain chest hurts all the time. I feel like a stupid failure for disappointing people. I know I should quit, but it's hard to make the final decision due to financial reasons. Can someone punch me in the face and tell me how terrible I am and that I should quit?